The Embassy of the Dead, Chapter 4, The Ambassador's Office, Embassy of the Dead. Maureen had been dead for ages now, and it still amazed her that the embassy and afterworld was technologically so far behind the earthly plane. Still, it wasn't for her to worry about that. Despite the frustrations of her outdated printer and her boss's moods, Maureen enjoyed her job as personal assistant to the ambassador of the Embassy of the Dead. The light on Maureen's printer came on and the machine started to hum. A memo was coming through. She checked the paper as it emerged. Clause 7.3, death order. She raised an eyebrow. They didn't get one of those very often. She put on her reading glasses as she waited for the report to finish printing, then ripped the paper from the machine, reading it on the way back to her desk. Activity: spectral container 34 opened by an unlicensed member of the living. Perpetrator: Jake Green, Elmbury. Action: immediate incarceration in the eternal void. Didn't people know that unlicensed opening of spectral containers was a serious matter? Maureen opened the middle drawer of the spectral containers filing cabinet and searched for file 34. She smiled at the soft greyish-pink cardboard cover. Of all the card colours, it was Maureen's favourite. She'd painted her downstairs loo that same colour. It was a shame such a pretty file had to contain such dark information. She opened the file and read the front page. Spectral Container 34. Issue 2, Embassy of the Dead. Contents, highly classified. Status, if compromised, enact Code Red procedures. Maureen's eyebrow, already raised, rose even higher. Highly classified? Code Red? It meant the contents of the box contained something of a highly dangerous and sensitive nature. Maureen hadn't personally dealt with a Code Red since back in 1982. She pursed her lips at the thought of what had happened that day. Most disagreeable for all concerned. So, this wasn't just a serious matter, this was a very serious matter. She shuddered at the thought of what would happen now, and not just at the mood it was going to put the ambassador in, but more than that, who she would be forced to summon from the afterworld. There was something about him that she found disturbing. Even for a Reaper, he was unusually grim. She sighed and pressed a button on her desk. Hello, Ambassador? Yes. Did you see that? Yes, I know. Should I summon? Okay, yes, right away, Ambassador. Maureen clicked off and pressed another button. Could you put me through to the afterworld? It's Maureen from the embassy. She waited for a connection. A crackling voice answered briefly, then went silent. Maureen tutted. Afterworld technology. She tried again. Hello, answered a voice, clearer this time. Maureen took a deep breath. Send for Mawkins. Who do you think Mawkins is?
I don't know.
Do you think... I think he's the Reaper that she said she was going to have to summon. He's very disturbing.
Yeah, probably.
And she said even for a Reaper, he was unusually grim. Do you know what the Grim Reaper is?
No.
The Grim Reaper is death. But it sounds like there are lots of Reapers, and Mawkins is just one of them. So, if the Grim Reaper is someone who usually is death, but the action is not, well, the action is death, it's a death order, and immediate incarceration in the eternal void. So is that the same as death, do you think?
Well, probably not, because because if it's like really dangerous, then they'll do worse than death, because they're ghosts supposedly around.
Okay, what's worse than death?
Well, I mean, death, maybe in this story, death just means that they're just gonna turn into a ghost. But maybe or maybe they'll just be like shot out of the world, so it's like they're not dead. They're not existent.
Okay,
which doesn't sound very nice.
Interesting theoretical speculation there. So, is this what you think world of the dead, the Embassy of the Dead, should be like? Sounds very normal, doesn't it, with Maureen and her pink folders and her printer?
Yeah, but I suppose, no, I think there are lots of things, because a couple of chapters ago we met the person who gave him the hand, and he wasn't like...
Stiffkey.
Yeah, Stiffkey. And he was different.
Yeah,
so
okay. So there are different people.
Yeah, there are lots of personalities.
Okay, good.